when you know what you want out of life right now, it sets you up to have some very fun conversations that help you and the person you're talking to feel known, valued, and connected. Hi everybody, I'm Greg from Heart Tools, where we make it simple to build great relationships. And in our last video in this series, we talked about the importance of knowing what you want most in life. And today we're going to go the other direction and talk about what you want right now in life, because that's also really important for creating great conversations. And let me tell you what we're not going to do once we've figured out the list of things that you want now. We're not going to talk about how to get what you want right now. We're not going to talk about prioritizing the list and creating strategies and allocating resources and all the things that would take to get what you want right now. Those are stage 3 skills, and we'll talk about those later on. Right now, we are talking about increasing your self-awareness so that you can get better at self-disclosing and create real connection with other people. So that's the direction we are going to go. How to use knowing what you want most and what you want now to create great conversations. Now, when we talked about discovering what you want most in life, we encouraged you to take your time, that it could take months or a year or longer to really come up with a list that you think, this is exactly what I want most in life. Now we're going to go the opposite direction with what you want now. This is going to be a very quick process where you just capture what comes to mind right away. And we're going to give you a few ways to brainstorm what you want now. And I would encourage you to capture it somehow. Write it down, type it into your computer, however you like to brainstorm. But I would encourage you to capture the brainstorming process. One reason is because we're going to use these ideas to create questions and create conversations for later, and there are going to be way too many for you to remember. So capture them as they come up. The second reason I encourage you to capture it somehow is because the way brainstorming works for some reason is if your brain thinks you're going to use the ideas that it's giving you, it'll keep giving you more ideas. So capture the ideas as they come to you. Don't evaluate them, don't judge them, just capture them. And that will enhance the creative process and keep the brainstorming going. So the first way I would encourage you to brainstorm is to think about all the different relationships and roles that you have in life. I'm a parent, I'm a spouse, I'm a brother, I'm a friend, I'm an employee, I'm a coach, right? All the different roles and responsibilities that you have. And just do a quick brainstorming in each one of, what do I want right now? So with a relationship, say you're a mom of a 10-year-old, you could ask yourself, what do I want for this 10-year-old right now? And you could capture that real quickly. And then you could also ask, what do I want in this relationship with my 10-year-old right now? Again, don't overthink it. Just capture quickly what comes to mind. If you're married, what do I want most for my spouse right now? And what do I want for my marriage right now? For your job, what do you want right now at work? Do you want a promotion? Do you want an opportunity to gain a new skill? Do you want just 40 hours a week and go home and not to have to think about it? What do you want from your job right now? And then what you're going to do with that list of things you want right now in all your relationships and for all the people you're in relationship with and in all of your roles and responsibilities right now, you're going to turn that list of wants into questions that will create great, fun, connecting conversations. And here's what we're not going to do with these questions, all right? We're not going to use these questions to talk to the people that you're in relationship with about what you want. So the questions that you create of, what do I want with my 10-year-old, you're not going to have a conversation with the 10-year-old. The questions about work, you're not going to have a talk with your boss about these. Here's what you're going to do with these questions. You're going to use these questions to to create conversations with people who are in a similar role that you're in, right? So let's say you're a mom of a 10-year-old, and the thing you want most for your 10-year-old right now is you want him to be able to make more friends at school. Doesn't have enough friends, and that's something you really want for him. You capture that. And then something you would like for the relationship is you would just like to spend a little bit more time playing. You know, setting up train sets with him, because that's what he likes to do, or playing a video game with you. Just want a little bit more time playing with him. So then you take that and you can create questions that you could ask when you're talking to other moms. So you're talking to another mom who has an elementary school-aged children, and what you'll do is just open with a general question like, how's Samantha doing at school? And you'll get a general answer to that, and then you could take your want and turn it into a question and say, what's something you'd really love for Samantha at school this semester? What do you want to see happen for her? Or you could ask, what's something you'd like to do more of with Samantha right now that you're not getting a chance to do? And turn the things you've discovered that you want into questions. And then after you ask the questions, then you just listen. You do all the skills that we learned in stage 1 of Heart Tools, all of the empathizing and listening and validating and listening with respect. And you just listen as long as they want to talk, right? Because a lot of times when you ask this kind of question, you hit a nerve, you hit a gold mine, and a lot comes out, right? And so you just keep reflective listening as long as they want to talk, and then when you get a sense that they're finished talking about that, and it may take 1 or 2 sentences, it may take 6 or 7 paragraphs, right? When you get a sense that they're done talking, then you say, wow, thanks for sharing. You know, here's what I'd like to see for my son this semester at school, and create a great, fun conversation. Or if you're a husband in a men's support group or hanging out, having a beer with a friend, then you could ask again the questions that you discovered in your brainstorming. What's one thing you really want for your wife this season? What's one way you want your marriage to grow and strengthen over the next several months? And have great conversations about that. The next area I would encourage you to brainstorm is in the area of your hobbies and interests. And for each one of your hobbies, just capture 1 or 2 or 3 thoughts. Again, real quickly, don't overthink it, don't overjudge it. Just what are some things I really want in this area right now? And again, then turn those wants into questions that will help other people talk about what they want in their areas of hobbies and interests. For example, I'm a lifelong Laker fan, and it's the off season right now, and I know exactly what I want in the off season. I know what kind of trades I would like them to make. I know what kind of players I'd like for them to get to shore up different positions. I know what moves I want them to make in the front office. I may be wrong about everything, but I know what I want, right? And so when I'm sitting at a sports bar with my good friend who's a lifelong Piston fan, or even with someone who I just met, and I find out they're a Brooklyn Nets fan, right? I could open with a question, hey, what's one move you really want to see the Pistons make this offseason? Or what's one move you want to see the Brooklyn Nets make this offseason? And because I've already thought about it, I know how fun and important this is for me. So as they're talking, I'm really set up to take them seriously. And I reflective listen. I reflective listen and keep asking reflective listening questions and let them finish. And I have a lot of fun. I learn some things because even though I follow the Lakers pretty closely, I don't have a lot of time to follow other teams, so it's a chance to learn that. And they get to talk about something that's important to them. So do the same thing in the areas of your hobbies and interests where you just capture quickly, what do I want for each one? Turn those into conversation questions. Another fun area to brainstorm is to brainstorm about the upcoming season, whatever it is. So if you're entering into the holiday season, spend some time brainstorming, what do I want to happen this Halloween? What would be fun? What do I want out of Thanksgiving? And what do I want for Christmas, right? What do I want this Christmas? What's important to me? And just do some brainstorming and capture what's important to you. And then again, what you're going to do is come up with questions that you can ask the people in your life. Hey, what do you really want to see happen this Christmas? What would be important to you? And have great conversations. So take those three areas, your relationships and the roles, your hobbies and interests, and the upcoming season, and you can do enough brainstorming there to come up with 30 to sometimes 50 great questions that will be available, that will help you create conversations in a variety of different circumstances. Some questions with people you know, some questions with people you've just met, but it'll help you create great conversations, and the other person will have had a chance to talk about something that mattered to them and have the experience of that taken seriously. My wife and I always say, no one goes to bed at night thinking, I'm so tired of people trying to get to know me, taking me seriously, and enjoying me. I'm just fed up with it, right? It doesn't happen. So when you create this kind of conversation with someone that's fun and that's connecting, it is a great gift to give to them. So in our last video, we talked about what you want most. In this one, we talked about what you want now. And then we're going to talk about one more area of gaining self-awareness in what you want in the next video. And that will be key in creating conversations also around what you want most. So we're going to come back to that in the next video. But the simple step for now is to do a quick brainstorming session in your relationships and your roles, in your hobbies and interests, and what's coming up in the season that you're in. And then use that to create 30 to 50 great conversation questions that you'll have in your pocket to have great, connecting, fun conversations with the people in your life. Simple steps, practice, practice, practice. That's what Heart Tools is all about.